Why is it that one writer can have an amazing amount of success and another writer over the same period of time bombs, just fails miserably and struggles? I think there are a lot of ways that we can answer that question. There certainly are a lot of techniques and ideas and circumstances that come into play, but I want to share with you my experience that I think will shed some light on this. And I want to give you an insight, a path that will help you be one of the winning writers and not one of the going down in a blaze of glory writers, okay? When I first got started, I'm not sure that there was ever a writer that was more motivated than me. I had 6 children, a couple $100,000 of debt to pay off, and I was driven. I wanted to figure this out. Not only that, I had come through a long string of serious business failures. In other words, I felt beaten down, I felt depressed, I felt angry, I felt anxious, I felt excited, I felt just wanted to make this thing work. You ever felt like that? You might not express it in this hyper overactive way that I do, but you feel it inside, that drive to just to win. Well, I went in my first couple of months of knowing about the world of writing to an event with Bob Bly. Now, Bob Bly, the promotion told me, I didn't know who Bob Bly was at the time. I do now, but I didn't then. The promotion told me that Bob was like one of the world's greatest paid copywriters. He knew how to market, and he knew how to find clients, and he had a steady stream of clients, and he was even turning away clients on a regular basis. And if I just came to this 4 or 5 day seminar with Bob, then I could Snapperensky, I could have clients coming out my ears just like Bob. I was excited about this. I was like, okay, we're going to do this. So I borrowed $5,000 from my father-in-law to cover the event price plus hotel plus airfare. I got on the plane and flew over to Miami, Florida, where I walked into a room and with about 30 other writers sat down for a couple of days and listened to marketing strategy after marketing secret, after business development strategy, after marketing strategy, insight, technique, after phone call and email and this and that, all these different things. I sat there and just absorbed it all. I was super, super excited. And then I took all of that, all of these great ideas, all of these systems, all of these patterns, and I took them back to Montana and I started implementing like crazy. I built out a website. I built out an information packet. I figured out who I was going to talk to. I got a list. I did all these things, all these blocks that I was told I needed to put into place in order to have success. And I did it all. And come August, just a few months later, I was ready. I was like in the hunt, and I started mailing out postcards, and I started doing follow-up emails and phone calls. I just was doing everything that I knew how to do. And in August, it was awesome. I didn't get anything. And then in September, nothing came of my marketing efforts. And in October, I really didn't get anything. I did get one small project toward the end of October for $500. And it was actually $1,000, but well, they didn't like the 500. They didn't like the project. So they paid me the 500 and then didn't pay me the second 500. And then I was back to square zero. And in November, I picked up a little client. And actually in November, I got a client for $5,000 a month retainer. And I was like, yes, stoked, baby. You might have read that story. I was up on a mountainside when I got the call. It was super exciting to me. And then a month later, they canceled the contract because they hated my writing, right? So here I was, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, part of March. All of those months, what is that, 9 months? 9 months implementing the system, doing the program, putting it all in place, trying to make it work. And nothing, no results, no nada, zippo. It was so frustrating. And I still was a couple $100,000 in debt, and I still had 6 children to feed, and I still was full of drive and anger and frustration and scared and excited and hopeful and all those things all wrapped in one. I was still there 9 months later after doing all this. And what I found out was that there's an interesting mix between just running through the motions and chunking the stuff into place and doing things in a way that actually produce results. Now, that sounds crazy, but you know, there's an old adage that says if you plant corn, you get corn. But let me tell you what, if you go out here onto my, just down my street here, little dirt road, and then you get on the little state highway, Highway 13, and you drive about a mile and a half, 2 miles to the south. And then you look on your right-hand side, you'll see there's an old farmhouse right there. And out in the side and so a little toward the front of the farmhouse, if you come at the right time of year, you'll see a garden. It's not a big garden, but it's a garden. And the plants, the vegetables, the tomatoes are like boom, boom, huge. The corn is huge. It's just beautiful. The bell peppers are growing like this high, and they've got big, huge bell peppers on them. They're not really that big, but they're big, huge bell peppers on them. And I look at that garden and I'm like, dang, we both plowed the soil, because I got a garden and my garden doesn't look like that, right? We both plowed the soil. We both planted seed. We both watered. I water my garden. Like I was doing some of the exact same things that this old farmer boy is doing on his, but the results are crazy different. And I know that during that same period of time, when I was, marketing myself and putting stuff out there and doing everything that I was told I should be doing, I know for a fact that during that same period that indeed Bob was having massive success. It was like his business was flourishing. He was getting clients. He was turning clients away. He was writing every day. He was making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I was getting nothing. So what made the difference in that? And no, this isn't the Washington, Journal where knowledge was the difference. Okay, that's great. But guess what? I had the knowledge. Bob gave me all the knowledge. I had the knowledge. I was implementing it, but still something wasn't working. And it was right about this time that, unbeknownst to me, things started changing. And I didn't realize that I was changing up how I was doing the stuff. It's just that the stuff started producing results. In March, I got a major project from Corel. And then in April, another one. And then one from Sony. And then Toshiba. And then AWAI. And then Agora. And then it just like chunk. It started coming at me fast and furious so that in a very, very short period of time, I had made 100,000, then 200,000, and then, just kept coming in and just kept coming in. And it was amazing what happened very, very rapidly. And did I do, in terms of logistical steps, did I do anything different? No, I actually didn't. I was doing the same things. So what did change in the course of all that? Well, I got to tell you that at the time, I couldn't put my finger on it. But now since then, since I've interviewed and spoken with dozens of the best performing, most successful writers in the world, and now since I've worked with thousands and thousands of writers and coached them through the process of finding clients and building their businesses and having success. And now since I've gone through and dug into and crawled inside of major corporations and small businesses and worked with entrepreneurs and executives, now I can tell you, now I know exactly what was going on there in that first year and why simply going through the motions and putting things into place did not produce the results that I wanted and that I needed. I had to change not just what I was doing, but how I was doing it. And I've come to find out that there are actually 10 major predictors of success as a writer. In other words, if you implement these 10 major predictors, and some of them are logistical, fill in this spot, do this activity. but some of them aren't. Some of them deal with the how it gets done. But there are 10, and they are learnable, and they are easy to understand, but you have to have them in place. And if I look back and see the path that I wound through to get to the point where clients were just pouring in on top of me, I can look and go, oh, so at that phase of the game, this predictor of success chunk got stuck in there. Oh, I tweaked to this. And so this predictor of success chunk got in there. And as over time, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and eventually 8, 9, 10, like chunk. These all got put in, and I changed not just what I was doing, but how I was doing it. And suddenly it all opened up and clients started pouring in. Now here's the deal. I want you to have the same experience. I want you well, I don't want you to have 9 months of not getting anything. That's why I'm doing this right now, is because I want you to see what the predictors are and be able to have a checklist and say, hey, do I have that element in my life? Am I doing things this way? Is this predictor of success part of who I am and what I'm doing? And if it's not, then I want to show you how to implement it. And if it is, check it off the list, pat yourself on the back, and carry on forward, okay? So I want to give you the checklist, no charge at all. And you can probably look at the checklist and go, oh, I know how to do that. But if by chance you want help on each one of the 10 predictors and having a better understanding of them and how to implement them, then I've also put together an in-depth mastery course on that. And I'm offering it to you for just $7. So the cheat sheet is absolutely free. And then the mastery course with all the videos and the discussion about each one of the major predictors and how you can implement them is just $7. Now, I'm doing this because it took me 9 months of bumbling and stumbling through to understand what these were. Well, actually, to start implementing them. And then it's taken me the last, more than a decade to be able to identify what these are and then be able to teach them to you in a way that you don't have to take 9 months. You can look at this and you can start implementing them right away and have a clear step-by-step path on how to get there for just $7. So I think it's the steal of the century, and I want to help you create the success that I know you can have. But you can't do it just doing the right things. You have got to do that in the right way. And if you will do that, do the right things in the right way, then of course you can have success and clients can pile up on top of you, and you can be like me and Bob where you're turning clients away and having a great time doing it, living a great lifestyle. Cool? You in? All right. So click on the link below. Even if you do nothing else, get the free cheat sheet. I mean, it's free. So grab it right now. And if you're so inclined, come on this journey with me and let's figure out how to master each one of these 10 things so that you can have an amazing amount of success. Cool? All right. Click on the link below and then I'll see you on the other side. Bye now.